Hello, thanks for clicking on the video. My name is David Pendleton, and I'm going to talk about Vineyard Acres Hole 8, which is a par 4, and it's currently located in Tour number 8 of Golf Clash. This is going to continue my Tour 8 hole-by-hole walkthrough. I hope you're liking the content that I'm providing here. If so, please hit that thumbs up button. That means a lot to a creator like myself. And also subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. So I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this hole because it's pretty straightforward. This is a very difficult hole to pick up an eagle on. Most times it's going to go to a shootout. So I'm going to show you just a couple of things. I'm going to show you a couple replays of some mistakes that opponents make. And then I'm going to talk about what happens at the end of the video if you get back-to-back headwind and you're not able to reach the green in two. There is a way to save the hole and get an easy chip in. So we'll talk about that too. All right, so let's start off on this replay. Everything is going to be played at 10% elevation on the first shot, 0% elevation on shot number 2. So this opponent here is using an APOC and a katana. And he's going for a max curl, max overpower shot. He even hits a perfect. And he drives a rough. So the biggest thing that I would like to say about this is, you don't ever want to take unnecessary shots when you don't have to. Yeah, there's going to be times in the game where you have to overpower and do a max curl shot for sure. This hole is not one of them. And this is one thing you don't want to do. You don't ever want to end up in the rough. Now, typically when you hit the ball this far and end up in the rough, you're going to be okay to get to the green in two. But of course, we all know it's harder to hit a perfect shot out of the rough than it is the fairway. So here you're going to see me play with my normal ball, the Navigator, which is what I normally choose in Tour number 8. And if you like more information on why I choose this ball or what my overall Tour 8 strategy is, just remember that you can find that in the video description below. You'll find a link to my Tour 8 strategy video. Here you can see I'm hardly using any overpower at all. I'm just using full topspin, and I just make sure that I power the ball down the fairway and that I land on the fairway. That's going to make shot number 2 a heck of a lot easier. So you'll see our opponent here with a power 2 ball chipping out of the rough, trying to land onto the green. He has plenty of club distance to make it. Overall, this is just the wrong setup when you're going to take this type of shot. And he hits a great ball, and he winds up in the sand. Now, this would have been a hole to where, had the opponent just taken a normal shot and just landed on the fairway, we would be heading to a shootout. Instead, he's going to lose the hole. And here is what shot number 2 looks like when you can make it to the green in 2. I always go with a full backspin approach, and I try to use this back hill back here and try to visualize my ball guideline going into the hole. Much easier said than done, as you really need to get high up on that back bank there to pick up enough speed to kick the ball down towards the pin. And again, like I said, this is a more difficult hole to eagle. So, finding a really good line on this is going to be hard. But you can see here we do come in right at the pin. We just didn't get up high enough to kick that ball down faster towards the hole. So that's really what most of your games should look like. Just make sure you stay controlled and that you play this hole very straight up and very easy. So now I'll show you this one. This opponent has much higher clubs. He's using an APOC and I believe what is a power 5 ball. And sometimes I hear people say, oh, they get out clubbed and people use money balls so they can't compete. That's not true. You just have to know how to attack every hole and you're going to be just fine in the game. So here our opponent hits 387 yards. I want to show you what we can do with a power 1 ball with no APOC. All right, so let me talk you through my setup as well. So whenever I go to take my drive on this hole, I always leave myself at least 1 ring of air. So do you see here where the rough line is? Notice that just a little bit of my red ring or the orange ring is inside the rough. So really, I'm giving myself 1 3/4 of room of the fairway to hit a great right shot. So if I accidentally hit great right, I'm still fine. Sometimes I see people put their target right up on the rough, and I just think they're not paying attention or really factoring in that they might hit a great ball, and then they get stuck on that right-hand side rough there. And if you do that, you're going to have an extremely difficult time ever getting to the green in 2. But regardless, our opponent used an APOC 5. He uses a power 5 ball. We use a power 1 ball here. And as you can see, we're also able to get this ball nicely up the fairway. And we hit ours for 392. Now, when you take a look at this, we're both going to have a straight shot towards the pin, and we're both going to be fine. So it just goes to show that even if you don't have that high of an APOC, and you don't have a power 5 ball, which I would never recommend in Tour 8 to use, you're going to be just fine. So here I'll just show you a couple different drives in different winds. This is 10.4 miles per hour, crosswind blowing from right to left. That's the opposite of what we would ever want on this hole. It's a lot easier if the wind is going left to right. But again, you saw me leave my room for error on that side of the hole, and we're able to power the ball up the fairway, making it an easy shot to get to the green. And then I'll show you 2 shots of headwind. So here we're getting almost 8 miles an hour of headwind. And anytime you get headwind, you always want to make sure that when you start the hole, you do exactly this. The game is going to start you off at max distance of your driver. So you want to always keep in mind that you want to back your target up towards you, so down lower on the screen, and then adjust for your shot. So this way, you can move the screen around and you still have room to 100% accurately adjust your shot, and then you can always push back up to max if you want to. Don't have to do that. But here, we do take an overpower shot because of how high the wind is. But again, you saw I left myself plenty of room on the right-hand side just in case I were to hit a great shot in overpower. I would still be okay. All right, and then one more drive, and then we'll move on to the rest of it. But this drive, again, is tough wind. We're looking at almost 9 miles an hour of headwind, blowing in the opposite way of what we would ever want. This one is going right to left, and again, that's always harder on this hole. And in headwind, I do push the max just to get my distance back. And here we get a great shot to the left. But ultimately we're going to be just fine on this as well. No problem at all. Now, so that one went 358 yards. But you also noticed that I went great left on that one. So this is the same opponent, as you can see. So because I didn't get as much distance on my drive, you're going to see here sometimes what happens. You see how I'm stretching into overpower and I'm getting headwind and I'm just barely making it on the green? I could probably take that shot at full overpower if I wanted to and land on the green. But again, we don't ever want to take an unnecessary risk, because what happens if I hit great left or right and I end up in the rough or the sand? We don't ever want to do that. So there is a part over here of this fairway that a lot of people never use. Now I want you to keep in mind here that this part right here is rough. So do you see how my ball guideline is pointing into the rough? You do want to make sure you don't land on that. You want to make sure that you hit any of this part right here, because that slant is going to help you ball move towards the green, which is what you're looking for. So don't think that this dark green part right here is also part of that bank, because it is not. You will get stuck up there. So regardless, what we do, if we ever feel like we're stretching into overpower and getting to the green is going to be a little bit challenging, this is what we do. We adjust at 0% elevation, and you're fine to leave your ball guideline to the rough like that, because what you're going to do is use max curl to the left, and you're going to see how the ball reacts here. See how you get to use that slope and it comes back down towards the pin? I mean, that shot right there is easy as putting. And it's a lot better than taking an overpower shot and hitting a great ball and getting stuck in the sand. So here is another example of that. This time we're getting about 5 miles an hour of headwind, and it's just not worth the risk. So I back my target up. Same thing here, my ball guideline is going to the top part of that rough. But you'll see that we counter effect that by using that max curl to the left. And I even hit a great shot to the right. That's why I wanted to put this one in the video, because you're going to see that we have so much room here. As long as we use that left curl, we're going to be okay. And we end up on the green on this one. So again, don't take these, max overpowered shots to get to the green when there are other ways to approach the hole. And this is just one more. It just shows you I'm stretching into max. I could try to take the shot, but again, it's just a lot better to go this way. We hit a perfect ball. We use the curl. And again, we get up that bank and we land onto the fringe. And then I can show you just another shot or two of what it looks like trying to use this bank back here, trying to get that line to the pin. And again, these are always max backspin shots. Great shot to the left. But this shot is pretty great proof. Doesn't matter if you hit great left, great right, you're still going to be okay. You're just using that bank to try to push your ball towards the pin. But anyways, that wraps up Vineyard Acres hole number 4. I do hope you found the video helpful. I hope you like my content. Please subscribe. Please hit the thumbs up. And let your clan know about my channel. So if you have some people playing, Tour 7, Tour 6, let them know there's Tour 8 walkthroughs out there. You can hit the playlist section of my channel, and you can find everything that I do neatly organized. Good luck, everybody. Thanks for watching.